Good day. Welcome to Dylan's Daily Show. So today we have a couple of stories to go over, right? Rather than just the usual one story. I'm going to do a couple. Obviously, I'm going to start off with the title of the video because that's important. And, you guys are watching it for that. But I've got a couple other stories in the latter half of the video that I want to go over as well. Because there's a lot of stories going on, including Hillary Clinton planning to write a book. She just won't leave. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Donald Trump's Supreme Court pick and the importance of him. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to do a little bit of a different show today, so let me know if you guys enjoy this. Good day.
I mean, I find it appealing to watch, but for them, very devastating.
Whoa!
This has got to be fake. It's not fake at all.
Don't you hate when someone's getting ready to take a drink and they keep talking and they just can't get the drink and then they just keep going? I just did that, and I hate when people do that. But anyway. So we're going to start off obviously with the title of the video, which is Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders planning to have a massive debate on CNN, hosted by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash here on the Clinton News Network, or the Crooked News Network. And they're going to be debating the future of Obamacare. So it's going to be a head-to-head. You've got the staunch conservative, low on the end of the social skills, but very intelligent Ted Cruz. And then you've got the socialist Jew Bernie Sanders. And they're going to go head-to-head regarding Obamacare, which is going to be pretty interesting. So I'm excited to see this. I have been wanting to see a debate matchup like this for a really long time. I wasn't, Hillary Clinton debating, it's not much to watch because you don't know what she supports. You know everything's scripted. It's just not interesting because she supports one thing in the private and then she supports one thing in the public. So you don't know if she's telling the truth. You don't know if she's lying. So the majority of the debate is just fact-checking Hillary Clinton. But with Bernie Sanders, he is a Stalin butt-kissing socialist communist, and Ted Cruz is a staunch conservative, and everybody knows that. So it's going to be interesting to see these two go at it about Obamacare. Now, I don't exactly know what they're trying to accomplish. I don't think that it's really going to change anybody's mind. When it comes to an issue like Obamacare, you've got really about three groups of people. You've got the people on the right who are just absolutely committed to saying it sucks. They don't really know anything about it, but they're committed to saying it sucks. And they happen to be right, but they don't have their facts, but they happen to be right in this case. Then you've got the people in the middle who say, I'm not really sure, I don't know my facts, so I'm going to wait for someone to persuade me using their facts. And then you've got the people on the far left, who are usually always wrong, but they always do this, who say, well, Obamacare is the best thing ever, and I don't care what anybody says, that's going to be it. So that's their opinion. And you're not going to persuade the people on the right in Category 3 or the people on the left. It's just not going to happen, right? You're never going to convince these people. Never. Never. Because they don't want to be convinced. They think they're already right. Now, the target audience you have to go after are the people in the middle, and I don't think there's enough of those people. I just don't think that a debate, I think the best thing to do, and this is, I think a lot of people in the middle right now don't like Obamacare, but they see it as, a lot of people are being insured. And they fall for the media narrative that, if we get rid of Obamacare, this many people will be without health insurance. Well, yeah, that may be true, but we're replacing it with a system where those people can get covered again for less money. Right now, these people are getting covered at the expense of some wealthy person, and that's not fair. Right? You shouldn't have the rich people paying for the poor people to get health care. That's just stupid. We should have a private system where everybody pays and the competition drives the prices down. And so I think the way to convince people that Obamacare sucked and that a different healthcare system is better is by just repealing and replacing it. And replacing it with a system that works in the private sector so that people can come out and say, well, I was wrong about Obamacare. I guess it's working in the private sector. This many people have health insurance. Right? The intelligent people knew that Obamacare would collapse in the first place. The intelligent people realized that Obamacare would collapse in the first place. We were saying it's never going to work. You can't have government-run healthcare. And boom, it collapsed. But he pushed it through with just a Democrat. But either way, it's going to be interesting to watch this. So it's going to be on Tuesday, which is going to be pretty interesting. And I'm excited to see this debate. I'm excited to see what happens. Again, I don't think it's going to change many minds, but I'm excited to see Bernie Sanders get completely destroyed by Ted Cruz because he's intelligent. But I really think Ted Cruz is planning to run for another run at the White House there. I think he really wants this. I don't know if he's going to run in 2020. I think he might run in 2020 if Donald Trump is wildly unpopular, which I don't think he will be. I think people are going to start to get... By the way, Trump's approval ratings hit 49% in a mainstream media establishment poll today. So if you don't see the media coming out and talking about approval ratings, that's why. But I don't think he's going to run in 2020 unless Trump is wildly unpopular. But I do think he wants to run in 2024. I definitely do. So moving on, talking about Trump's Supreme Court pick, which we're going to go over. And then, of course, the last story of the day, we've got Hillary Clinton planning to write a book. God, which you're not even going to believe it. But so last night, Donald Trump nominated Judge Neil Gorsuch to fill the Supreme Court void left by Antonin Scalia. And a lot of people like Antonin Scalia. Now, he died, Antonin Scalia, in February 2016. So it's been a year since this void has been filled, because we had to wait for the election to be here. You couldn't have just nominated, I forgot who Obama wanted. But it was so premature to nominate this guy. And Obama knew it wasn't going to happen. Him coming out and saying, well, this should happen. He knew it wasn't going to happen. And the people don't care. I mean, obviously the people don't care about the Republicans holding it back because they elected Republicans to both the House and Senate and the presidency. So they don't care at all. But this guy is awesome. Now, the left is coming out just attacking him. So, oh yeah, Neil Gorsuch is not suited to be on the Supreme Court. He's not a good judge. I would never support this guy. Well, it's funny. They should take a trip down memory lane to when George W. Bush appointed Gorsuch to the federal bench, to the 10th Circuit Court in 2006. I don't know why I said widely, because I put he's widely accepted on my notes. So I said widely. I don't know why. But in 2006, he nominated him to the 10th Circuit Court, and he was widely accepted by Democrats, and by some prominent Democrats as well. And in fact, I have a list here of some of the prominent ones. There's a whole list of them, but we're going to go over just the prominent ones. There's Obama, Biden, Harry Reid, Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, Dianne Feinstein, Maria Cantwell, Tom Carper, Robert Menendez, Patty Murray, Bill Nelson, Jack Reed, and Ron Wyden. And these are all senators that are now saying that they don't like this guy for the Supreme Court. They completely supported him in 2006 for the 10th Circuit Court. So if there's so many problems with the guy, why didn't you not support him then? Well, now there's a problem, because him being on the Supreme Court is a direct threat to the liberals' plan to completely destroy the Constitution. And I genuinely think that's their plan. Right? This isn't me making stuff up, trying to get it. I genuinely think the plan of the left is to completely annihilate the Constitution and reform this country into a socialist country. I think that's what the left wants to do. Because socialism and the Constitution don't work together, so the left is trying really hard to try and get rid of that and convince people that the writing in the Constitution's outdated. We don't need to listen to that nonsense anymore. It's completely outdated. And they want to change it to a newer kind of document and more socialist. The best example is the Second Amendment, where they say the writing in the Second Amendment is outdated and that they didn't actually want everybody to have guns. They couldn't predict what type of guns would be prevalent, in 2016, which is completely stupid, or in 2017, which is completely stupid, because the First Amendment still applies to Twitter, Facebook, and the interwebs. So if the founders couldn't predict about guns, then how could they have predicted about the interwebs? That's just something to think about. But this guy is a staunch conservative and a very educated man. He received his undergraduate degree from Columbia University in 1988 and graduated from Harvard Law School in 1991. He earned a PhD from Oxford University in 2004, and he is going to be the first Supreme Court justice in decades to hold a doctoral degree. Now, looking a little bit in his history here, he served as law clerk for Judge David Sentel on the U.S. Court of Appeals of the D.C. Circuit, then clerked for both Justice Byron White and later Justice Anthony Kennedy on the U.S. Supreme Court. He went on to have a very successful career in the private sector before joining the Bush department in 2005. And now he is obviously a nominee for the Supreme Court, which is a huge step. So congratulations to you, taking big steps in your life, but I think he's going to get it. He's very similar to Antonin Scalia. He believes that, you should govern by the Constitution and what the Constitution says in its document, regardless of your political beliefs, which I think is terrific. So people really like this guy. Republicans really like this guy. Democrats don't, because, again, he goes directly against the narrative that they want. But it really doesn't matter what they want, because the American people don't care what they want. They want what the right wants, because that's who they put in power. So, yeah, no one really cares about the Democrats. Just flash there. So anyway, moving on to the final story of the day, and this is a story that I really wanted to get to because this is just insane. Hillary Clinton plans to write a book. She wants to write a book. She wants to use her emotional appeal of losing the election in 2016 to write a book about how she feels emotionally and how it affected her when she lost the election. She just won't go away. She absolutely will not go away. She's got a jam-packed 2017 schedule, so it's going to be fun to talk about it. But the former Secretary of State, Senator and First Lady, you got to give all the, you couldn't say two-time loser of the presidency, is working on a book of personal essays that will come out this fall. It's by Simon & Schuster. They are the publishers. And they told the AP on Wednesday. The book is still untitled, but it's structured around hundreds of favorite quotes that have inspired her over the years. And she will use the quotes to, quote, tell stories from her life up to and including her experiences in the 2016 presidential campaign. So she's going to use these quotes that I guess she likes, these quotes that mean a lot to her, I guess, and use them to talk about stories from her life and how she felt during the 2016 presidential campaign. I don't even think she remembers election night. She was so goddamn drunk. But it's going to be interesting. This is going to be... I might buy it just to make fun of it. But it's going to be interesting. So she said, quote, these are words I live by. These quotes have helped me celebrate the good times, laugh at the absurd times, preserve during the hard times, and deepen my appreciation of life, of all life has to offer. Yeah, she really cares. She really cares about all life has to offer, especially when it comes to, the 4 Americans in Benghazi who died because she was reluctant to give the call. She said, quote, I hope that by sharing these words and my thoughts about them, the essay will be meaningful for readers, she said. Now, she's got a busy itinerary for 2017. She's going to be giving a lot of speeches as well. On March 8th, she will address an International Women's Day event organized by Vital Voices, the initiative Clinton and then Secretary of State Madeleine Albright founded in 1997. Clinton will speak at the LGBT Community Center in New York on April 20th, regardless of the fact that, she doesn't actually support gay rights, but whatever. And on May 26th, she will give the commencement address at her alma mater, Wesley College. Her student address there in 1969 graduation helped her into the future. So, again, people are thinking she wants to run again. This just shows it, the fact she's going on and giving all those speeches. She's trying to get back into the public spotlight, write a book. Maybe she thinks she should name her book Third Time's the Charm. Because that's the only way that she's going to win the election again, is if it's true that the third time is the charm. Now, she's going to reissue her best-selling book, It Takes a Village. But she's going to do it in an illustrated edition for young people. Now, she's donating that money from the illustrated book to charity. So that's good, I guess. But we don't know what she's going to be doing with her essay collection book, so we'll see on that. But anyway, she won't leave the public spotlight. She refuses to leave. She doesn't understand why people hate her. She refuses to leave the public spotlight. Nobody cares. Her book is going to tank just like her last book. But whatever. Let her do whatever she wants, right? Let her do whatever she wants. But anyway, that's it for the show today, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and share. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more. I will catch up with you guys next time. Bye-bye.